ever wanted was a family of my own, that a husband and child were my destiny. When you told me a career was a woman's real foundation, I didn't agree. I even tried to convince you to get married. Sadie, I said, my voice thick with emotion. Thank you for not holding that against me, and for still being willing to give me a chance. It was past 9 by the time I finished talking business with Sadie. When I got home, I found my sister Rosalie sitting on the sofa with David. She was dressed in something light and revealing, and they were sitting very close together. When he saw me, a flicker of panic crossed David's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by irritation. In the past, the mere sight of him with Rosalie would have sent me into a hysterical fit, making everyone miserable. What are you thinking now? Leo wouldn't go to sleep without someone comforting him, so I asked your sister to come over. Oh, is he asleep now? I cut him off. No accusations, no arguments, no temper tantrum. My calm unnerved him. He opened his mouth, then closed it, finally mumbling a sullen, "Just fell asleep. Good. I'm going to go wash up." I started to walk past them. The annoyance on David's face deepened. He suddenly grabbed my wrist. "Alara, I told you. Your sister and I, did I ask you anything?" I looked at him, genuinely confused. Why was he getting angry when I wasn't even questioning him? Suddenly, Rosalie let out a sharp cry. David's attention snapped back to her. "Rosalie, maybe you should head home." Rosalie looked at him with wide, pleading eyes. "David, I think I twisted my ankle. Can you give me a ride?" David glanced back at me, checking my reaction. I pulled my hand from his grasp. "It's late. It's not safe for her to go home alone. You should take her." David stared at me, his eyes searching my face. "Alara, what about me?" His brow, which had been tightly furrowed, slowly relaxed. "I'm glad you can be so understanding. It was my idea to have her come over, so I should be responsible for getting her home safely. But don't worry, I'll be right back." "Oh, it's fine," I said, not wanting to drag out the conversation. "I'm tired. If there's nothing else, I'm going to bed." David said he'd be right back, but a quick glance at Rosalie's Instagram stories showed the two of them at a bar. Just then, Leo shuffled into the room, clutching his new toy, his eyes heavy with sleep. "Mommy, aren't you sleeping with me tonight?" "No, sweetheart. Mommy is going to sleep in the guest room." I looked at my reflection in the vanity mirror, at the faint handprint on my cheek that even makeup couldn't completely hide. Sadie had been heartbroken when she saw it, but I hadn't heard a single sincere apology from my husband or my son. They were acting as if nothing had happened. Leo's lip jutted out. "Mommy, if you don't sleep with me, then I'm not letting you take me to school tomorrow, and I won't eat your food either." He'd been afraid of the dark since he was a baby. I met his angry gaze in the mirror. "Leo, if you're so afraid of the dark, why don't you ask your father to stay with you? Daddy has to work. You don't do anything all day but spend Daddy's money. Isn't it your job to put me to sleep? So if I stop spending Daddy's money, does that mean I don't have to put you to sleep anymore?" Leo let out a cold sneer, his tone a perfect imitation of his father's. "Don't be ridiculous, Mom. You're not smart and successful like Auntie Rosalie. If you didn't spend Dad's money, where would you get any? From Grandpa?" I had heard words like these my entire life. I wasn't as brilliant as Rosalie. I wasn't as educated as Rosalie. All the best things were meant for Rosalie. It was like our names themselves were a prophecy. She was Rosalie, the bloom. I was Alara, the block of wood. I was used to it, numb to it. But I had never, ever imagined that one day I would hear those same words from the mouth of the son I had carried for 9 months. The son I had risked my life to bring into this world. My hands trembled. An icy chill shot up from the soles of my feet to the crown of my head. I felt rage and a deep, wounded sorrow. And then all